One of the themes of this channel is to provide for you the resources that you need to be financially independent. And my guest today really is my go-to guy in all things crypto. He knows his crypto like no one else. I want to introduce you to Jeremy Newsome. Over the last decade, Jeremy has been helping people achieve financial independence through mentoring them in stocks. And he's just an amazing resource and a wealth of information on all things crypto. So if you're interested in taking the plunge into crypto, or if you want to know what's going on in the current state of the roller coaster, he's your man. He's going to show you precisely what you need to do and what you need to think. So Jeremy, thanks for coming on back. Great to have you with us again.
My man. No, it's been a pleasure and honor. And thank you so much for having me. I've always looked forward to working with you. And this is just another instance of greatness.
Yeah, right. And like I said before we talked about it, your beard's coming back.
Yeah.
In, I love. Jeremy had to shave it. What was it? A bet or something? You lost. I forget what it was that you had to shave your.
Just for charity. I lost the charity.
There you go. Oh, yeah. Charity. Oh my. Come on, beards, man. Charity.
But guys, if you're listening, Steve wouldn't have a conversation with me until I grew my beard back. He's like, you're not going to get back on my channel
until you get that beard back. That's right. That's right.
Man.
Traditional biblical values are what make America great, but the foundations laid down for us by our forefathers have come under severe attack. Will we conserve those foundations or allow them to be destroyed? While most media outlets are complicit in the abandonment of our American heritage, the Lancaster Patriot is unwilling to sacrifice truth for the sake of social credit. A conservative print newspaper serving Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, the Lancaster Patriot is bringing back local, honest, and investigative journalism to the county and setting the example for the world. Visit thelancasterpatriot.com to sign up today. Use code Turley and get 30% off your subscription.
Oh, no, it's awesome, man. Thanks for being back. So, let's just start with it, right? The obvious question here. What on earth's going on with crypto? It's taken quite the plunge of late. I mean, it looks like it's starting to creep up for sure. But can you just give us your take on the current state of the crypto market and why you're still bullish over it?
Yeah, man, absolutely. So the big picture, the big state is, unfortunately, most people, the way psychology works, the way investing psychology works is the general masses of individuals will be afraid to invest when something is low, and they'll be very, very, very excited about buying it when it's extremely high, because something called the fear of missing out will slowly creep into your brain. Like, oh, I'm missing it. So when Bitcoin was at its all-time high, which is right at 69,000, we're talking about mid-November, right? You and I had our first discussion of crypto back in May. And that was around Bitcoin's at 31,000. So then it goes from 31 to 69. That's a huge move, right? That's immaculate. And then it goes again from 69 back down to 35 and some change. Right. What's amazing about that, Steve, realistically, is I'll actually pull up a chart. I'll show you guys really quick. The way I'm viewing this is I'll go to a really big perspective. We'll zoom out to a weekly chart. This is just human psychology 101. And if I'm drawing a really big support level down here around 33 and a big level of selling up here in the 60s, right? We want to be a buyer down here and we want to be a seller up here.
Right.
And as wild as that sounds, that is investing. It's like our goal is to buy a very good asset as low as we can, sell as high as we can. Why did it have a big drop? My opinion is probably the inflation rate. There was a lot of discussion in the news. There's a lot of discussion about the Ukraine and Russia. That potential issue that was creeping up was scaring a lot of investors that were just fleeing from anything. So you had a big blend of that. Market sold off a little bit. Plus, it was a lot of profit taking and a lot of people that were getting in. What did happen though, Steve, is tons of people bought small amounts when it was high. But now that it's low, right? Buy low, sell high. This is the time to start accumulating pretty aggressively, in my opinion.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It's, the Warren Buffett strategy, right?
Yep.
When the market crashes, that's when he's going out buying up everything that he can see. And you brought up the issue of inflation, and that interests me. I think the last time we talked, inflation was on the horizon. We saw it starting to creep in a bit, but now, of course, it's here with a vengeance. So, how does crypto relate to inflation? I've read somewhere I think that crypto can be thought of as a bit of a hedge against inflation. Can you just give us a little lay of the land in terms of how they relate to one another?
Absolutely. So in general, as inflation increases, aka as interest rates go up, because this is a fluctuation that has to happen with the economy. Now, keep in mind, I wouldn't call myself an economist by any stretch of the imagination, but as interest rates go up, people will generally flee to more safe vehicles because they can get a higher interest rate in return, with that G word being thrown around, guaranteed. Right. So you can get treasury bonds, you can get savings accounts, some guaranteed money does increase. And for me, I don't like to chase pennies, especially if it's a guarantee, right? So if I get a guaranteed 1% a year, not exciting to me personally.
You're not retiring off that anytime soon.
Right. And everyone watching this, right? Everyone who's a follower of you realizes that's not good. But there are a lot of people out there, man, to get talked into. This is a good idea. And they'll put in tons of money, tons of cash, tons of capital. And we're talking a lot of individuals, big money will do that. Institutions have stayed away from crypto because it is so new. And what's really fantastic is there's $36 trillion right now in the US retirement funds accumulatively here in the States, 36 trillion. 1% of that goes into the crypto market in the next 3 years, it doubles. I mean, that's just the mathematical fact.
Wow.
So what's really intriguing at this exact stage is a lot of corporations, a lot of big money, they're so like, they're uneasy. So the hedge funds, the mutual funds, the pension funds, they are buying these safer, more secure asset classes when the interest rates increase, and they're escaping the more volatile asset classes, aka crypto. The reason that people will say that crypto is a hedge against inflation is because it's generally deflationary, because there's only a certain amount of Bitcoin that can ever be mined in the world, which is 21 million. So if you have a asset class that there's no more that can be ever created ever, right? There's a fixed amount, and this fixed amount of this asset has increasing demand with limited supply, the price will go up.
Right.
5 years ago, if you want to buy a house with Bitcoin, it would have cost you like 10,000 Bitcoin. Now you can buy a house in 3, 4, 5, or 6 Bitcoin.
Right.
Technically, that's a totally deflationary number, right? You can buy the same asset with less than you had previously.
Right. Yeah, gold and silver can work in comparable ways, right? Yeah, that's fascinating. Can you just give us a sense of the different kinds of crypto that are out there? I get asked this a lot in our Insiders Club Monday night live Q&A. People are really interested in all the different kinds of crypto. Everyone's heard of Bitcoin, but there's also Ethereum. I know you're huge on Ethereum. You're a big fan of that. There's Litecoin, there's Stellar. Can you give us a bit of the lay of the land of crypto and what makes the various different kinds of currencies unique?
Absolutely. So essentially, the goal of a crypto project is to take some utility that doesn't currently exist and make a native platform in which this utility is going to be centralized to a group of people that use this particular project for a specific thing. Now, that's a lot of words that don't mean anything piled all together. So to make it more simplistic, let's say that you live in a very specific state and you say, all right, this particular state, we're only going to use this particular currency. So if you're buying and selling anything within this state, let's call it New Hampshire, anyone who lives in New Hampshire is going to trade only this currency. So if you buy and sell within New Hampshire, you're going to use this particular currency. So that's called an ecosystem. So what we're trying to do in a lot of different tokens, and I'll give you guys a vision of one that I would love to create in the future, and the one that I am working diligently towards, is creating a solar credit token that uses the blockchain for myself or anyone else who buys this token to pay for anyone else's electric bill if they're using solar energy.
Wow.
Anywhere in the world. So let's say I have solar and I get an excess credit of solar. I can either sell that excess credit back to the grid, which is very, very common. People do that all the time. Or I could take that excess solar energy that I've made for my solar panels and I could use that credit to buy my tokens, use this token to pay for someone else's energy in a different part of the world that also uses solar. This is an example of a really, really good utilization of crypto, is truly making something where it allows people to interact with it and get paid for it. Another great example is Basic Attention Token. So Basic Attention Token, also known as BAT, is a decentralized token that allows individuals to surf the web just like they normally do, on a browser that is built called Brave, Brave, Brave. The Brave browser is a decentralized browser that you get paid in BAT, basic attention token, to use, right? So the collective group uses BAT. They give you BAT to use their browser. And as you use the browser, you get rewarded in basic attention token. You can use that basic attention token to then pay individuals, creators, advertisers, whomever, to either allow you to have ads or to disallow you to have ads. And you can create a user experience that you like using your basic attention token that's given to you for free by using the platform.
Yeah, it's so fascinating. So really, I know we've talked about this before, but when all said and done, Bitcoin or digital currency in general, crypto in general, it is this transactional platform that is its draw, isn't it? This immediate digital platform. And then anybody can create a different kind of coin, as it were, based on their different transactional relationships. It's almost like, it seems to me, it's almost like, correct me if I'm wrong, it's like the way a company will use some kind of communication network, right? An in-house communication network that all of a sudden kind of takes on a life of its own, and then you can begin investing in. Is that something akin to it?
100%. So, I mean, think about Starbucks, right? They offer reward systems. Well, imagine being able to buy the reward systems with another currency very, very seamlessly, US dollar, Japanese yen, euro, British pound, whatever. You can go anywhere in the world and you can use your reward systems, your Starbucks, right? Your reward systems to buy not only Starbucks, because if you buy Starbucks, you get a discount because you're using the reward system, but you could also buy other items with it. It's the same concept. And there's a lot of coins out there that are trying to create their own ecosystem for different applications. Essentially, Ripple, right? Ripple is trying to create their own currency that rivals the banking system. So Ripple's trying to create a centralized currency that is the bank's intermediary tool that increases the speed of wiring and decreases the cost of wiring, making it a little bit seamless and more efficient. So you don't have to be in the bank, you can wire it back and forth. So that was an example of what Ripple came up with. Like, they wanted to be the banking, the financial systems institutional cryptocurrency asset. Then you have Stellar Lumen, which is trying to be a point of sale. You mentioned that one earlier. So they're trying to be a point of sale crypto, so that anyone who is using an online e-commerce website or check-in or checkout can use Stellar Lumens to get rewards and get discounts and have better tracking systems and so on and so forth. So there's a lot, man. There's a lot. But the truth of the matter is, what I'm offering and what you've known and what you've been studying is something called technical analysis. Technical analysis is the study of human behavior in chart form. And if you can understand human behavior and you can visually see where people are buying and selling, then you can take advantage of these movements and you can increase the holding of whatever currency you want. So if it's British pounds, if it's Canadian dollars, if it's Australian dollars, if it's US dollars, if you want to increase the value of your currency by trading these assets in and out, in and out, in and out, you can. One of your listeners, her name is Sandra, her and her husband, Steve, I actually just got off the phone with them. True story, Steve, 3 hours ago. Sandra lives in St. Louis, Missouri, and she made $2,000 trading Ripple yesterday.
Wow.
Well, she sold it yesterday. I don't know exactly when she bought it, but I can pull up her chart really quick. Ripple. So she bought Ripple at approximately 64 cents. She was looking at some technical analysis. She looked like it was a good trade setup. So she bought some Ripple at 64 cents using US dollars. And she bought, I think it was $10,000, 10,000 US dollars worth of Ripple. Well, Ripple went up 20% in 3 days.
Wow.
She sold it and she made 2,000 US dollars trading Ripple. She then takes that $2,000 and she's going to do something else with it, buy books, buy education, buy information. She's going to reinvest into her brain, into her knowledge to continue to get that expansive growth over the next few months. That's an example of potentially outrunning inflation, because even if inflation is 5% a year, and if you can make 15% a year actively trading cryptos, actively trading stocks, why would you not do that, right? Ooh, if it has a chart, it has a heart. So if you can learn to trade technical analysis on cryptos, you can make money on Tesla, Apple, commodities, corn, right? Or trade futures. You can do anything if you're understanding technical analysis appropriately. So my job, my goal is to teach a system and a set of indicators that anyone can use to increase their odds of winning. You never win on everything all the time ever, right? Just that's okay. But can you increase the odds instead of having a 65% chance of winning to a 73 or 74% chance? Right. And then if you just apply simple math, right? If you lose 70 cents and you make $1.20, 65% of the time, you're absolutely crushing it. Because that number just amplifies, right? Take in fact, if you're making $10,000 and you're losing $7,000, that's a $3,000 spread. You do that over 10 trades with a 75% win-loss ratio. I mean, you're making money that would revolutionize and change so many people's lives dramatically.
Oh, wow. Well said. Gang, if you've been interested in getting involved in cryptocurrency or just upping your game on investing, I mean, Jeremy is your guy. He's my default guy, and I love just sharing my resources with you. As always, thank you for being back with us. The beard looks awesome.
Thanks, brother. Thank you again for having me here. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. We'll see you then.